I hope you're not getting too terribly annoyed with the summer weather pattern yet, because it's going to stick with us for the next several days. And let's be honest, if you've lived here for more than a couple of years, you know this summer weather pattern is going to stick with us through the next couple of months. Kind of depends on the summer we're having. If we're having a real summery summer, I guess you could say, across the Tennessee Valley, we could be talking about a summer weather pattern clear through the month of September and even into the early days of October. Since I've been here in North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, we have seen some rather hot days in the month of October. We've had some triple-digit days in the month of October, so the summertime weather pattern could stick around for quite some time. Off to DeKalb County we go this evening. It's hot and humid. You obviously can't see that on the screen, but you can see the little bit of cloud cover. You can also see the ample sunshine. I'm not talking about any rain this evening over in DeKalb County, but we are definitely talking about some rain in a couple of locations across the Tennessee Valley. We'll get to that in just a second. From the top of Montesano, maybe a slight increase in the amount of cloud cover, maybe a little bit of rain off into the distance. I noticed some rain a little bit further to the south, down 431, just to the south of Owens Crossroads a little while ago. Temperatures currently sitting in the lower 80s on top of Montesano because they have seen some rain through the course of the afternoon. My ride into work today was rather uneventful, or rather eventful, I guess I should say, because I live down in Owens Crossroads and it was raining on top of the mountain as I was driving into work, and I can't help but be confused by the fact that when it's raining, for some reason everybody tends to turn on their hazard lights. And I don't understand that. So if somebody could explain that to me, that would be great. Still disgustingly humid. Dew points currently sitting in the low and mid 70s, right around 74 degrees. We'll talk about that in just a second. Another live look here for you from Memorial Parkway. We're looking northbound on Memorial Parkway. Definitely some cloud cover, but we're also talking about ample sunshine. You can't see the heat and humidity, but trust me, it's there. Temperatures were a little bit warmer this afternoon compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. The Huntsville International Airport saw a high temperature this afternoon of 93 degrees. Our friends over in Florence saw 93. Now, our friends over in Northeast Alabama, they consistently climbed into the mid-80s today. Fort Payne saw 88, Scottsboro saw 89, Albertville also saw 89 degrees. Upper 80s and lower 90s for the folks up across southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures kind of all over the place this evening. It's kind of dependent on whether or not you've seen any rain through the course of the afternoon. That depends on, that will determine where you're sitting as far as the temperature is concerned. Mid and upper 80s up across southern Middle Tennessee, but 82 right now in Huntsville, 88 in Coleman. They have not seen any rain today. 86 right now in Scottsboro, 82 in Russellville. Is still holding on to 87 degrees right now in Florence. Let's talk about the radar. We are looking at a little bit of activity. There's that activity I was just mentioning a couple of seconds ago, kind of hanging out in southern Madison County. Just a couple of blips of rain south of the Tennessee River and east of I-65. A little more widespread precipitation once you get to the south and east a little bit more. But our main focus over the last hour or so has been this bout of activity across far northwest Alabama, kind of up into Lauderdale County. Killen talking about some very heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds, 25 to 35 miles per hour. Frequent thunder and lightning, that's for sure. And again, you're getting into some of those darker reds, even some of the brighter pinks, indicating some pockets of very heavy rain. This activity sitting just to the south of Lexington, kind of along Highway 72. There's Highway 43. That area talking about quite a bit of rain. We're talking about rain on literally either side of Rogersville. And then it looks like this activity is just barely scraping parts of Florence. Maybe you can see the lightning all the way down into Muscle Shoals. I say all the way down like it's so incredibly far, and it's really not. This activity continues back off to the west, probably back towards Gravelly Springs, back towards Waterloo, that direction. And then we are talking about a little bit of activity up across southern Middle Tennessee. This stuff definitely packing a bit of a punch, but we're not talking about any severe weather across the Tennessee Valley. Definitely some good news there. And with this summertime weather pattern, you typically don't get a lot of severe weather, maybe a couple of rogue severe thunderstorm warnings, but that would be for gusty winds and heavy rain. That's about all you get out of a summertime weather pattern. Speaking of, that summer pattern is going to continue into the weekend. We're going to be talking about the three main and really only components of a summertime pattern: heat, high humidity, and rain. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible on a daily basis, not just as we head into the weekend, but through much of next week as well. Now, does that mean you need to go ahead and cancel your plans this weekend? Absolutely not. You've lived here long enough. You know that it might rain over your house and it might not rain over your neighbor's house, or vice versa. I tend to drive, there's a food city just a couple of miles down from where I live, and I think twice this week it has been completely dry and sunny at my house. But then by the time I get to the food city or the Walmart, is just a couple of miles even further down the road, it's been raining, like pouring rain, like a deluge. But it was nice and sunny at my house when I left just a couple of minutes ago. That's the type of scattered shower and thunderstorm activity we're talking about. I feel like that was a really long-winded and unnecessary way of describing scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those thunderstorms could pack a bit of a punch. The biggest concern there would be some localized flash flooding. Even the gusty winds aren't going to be a huge concern. Gusty winds in excess of 25 or 35 miles per hour. Here's Futurecast as we head into the lunch hour on Saturday. Isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley, but some of us are going to be dry. Some of us get to enjoy a mostly sunny sky. And we're going to stick with this trend through the heart of Saturday afternoon and then to some extent as we head into Saturday evening. But just like the last couple of days, this activity is going to taper off as we head into the overnight or early into the next morning. In this case, we'd be talking about Sunday morning. And just like the last couple of mornings, I think a little bit of patchy dense fog is also liable to develop across the Tennessee Valley. So that's also something we're going to want to bear in mind. Slight increase in the cloud cover through the course of the afternoon. We bring back the opportunity for isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, but it looks like a significant number of us probably going to end up staying dry. Rain is honestly something we don't need across the area. Latest drought monitor, this came out yesterday. There is no drought across the Tennessee Valley, which honestly, as we get ready to head into middle and eventually late June, and then obviously August and September, or middle and late July, and then August and September, this is something we like to see because normally kind of late July, August, September, that's the concerning time of the year across the Tennessee Valley when we would anticipate drought conditions beginning to develop. So the fact that we're heading into mid-July and eventually late July without talking about any sort of a real drought problem, that's definitely a little bit of good news for us. Huntsville International Airport has seen 132% of what would be considered a normal amount of rain over a 30-day period. Our friends in Moulton have seen 228% of what would be considered a normal amount of rain over a 30-day period. Now, what does that mean? All right, well, let's say a normal amount of rain over a 30-day period, a month, is 5 inches. Well, Moulton has seen 228% of what would be considered a normal amount. So they've seen the 5 inches plus another 128% more. So they've seen another 5 inches plus another 28% of 5 inches. And now I like to think I'm a reasonably smart human being, but I am not smart enough to stand here and do that math in my head. But I think you get the picture. Over in Fort Payne, they've seen 145% of what would be considered a normal amount of rain. Pulaski has seen 197%. All that to say, we're talking about a surplus of precipitation across the Tennessee Valley. Drought conditions not going to take over anytime too soon. 93 degrees right now, or was the high temperature this afternoon in Huntsville. We saw 93 in Florence, upper 80s, lower 90s for our friends up across southern Middle Tennessee. Like I said, temperatures kind of all over the place this evening, kind of dependent on the amount of rain you've seen through the course of the afternoon. But pay attention to the dew points. Dew points currently sitting in the mid-70s, and that's exactly where we're going to be as we head into the weekend, sitting in the very humid category, anywhere between 70 and 75 degrees. Though at times this weekend, and just like we saw today, we might creep up into the oppressive category where that dew point climbing greater than 75 degrees, 76, 77, 78, certainly not out of the question. It is going to feel grossly humid this weekend, but that also means our heat indices are going to begin to climb a little bit this weekend, anywhere between kind of 103 and 105, and then even more so as we head into the early and middle part of next week. So that's something we're going to want to be mindful of. It is definitely summer across the Tennessee Valley, and in all honesty, this is something we should kind of expect. Maybe a little bit of patchy fog develops as we head into the overnight, otherwise temperatures dropping into the lower 70s. I've got a low temperature right around 71 degrees. If you have yard work that needs done, I have a little bit of mowing to do. I'm using the sprinklers a lot lately for rather obvious reasons, I suppose. I'm going to attempt to do the yard work earlier in the morning when it's just a touch cooler across the area. 76 at 8, 87 by 11, 91 by 2 p.m. And it looks like I showed you a little bit earlier. That's where we're going to finish today, right around 91 or 92 degrees. Some of us could even be a couple of degrees warmer, but the opportunity for rain increases a little bit as we head into the afternoon. That's why if you have that yard work to do, you're going to want to do it in the morning. It's kind of a twofold thing. It's going to be a little bit cooler, and the chance of rain is a little bit lower. Much the same as we head into your Sunday, temperatures consistently climbing into the low and mid 90s across the area. Have a good look at the next 7 days. 91 on Saturday, 92 Sunday, 91 on Monday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast on a daily basis, like I told you. And then we're going to stick with the summertime temperatures as well. 93 on Tuesday, 92 Wednesday, 93 Thursday, 92 degrees by the time we get to next Friday. Friday, by the way, brings about a slightly better Opportunity for more widespread precipitation.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
Well, I hope you're not too terribly tired of the summer weather pattern yet, because it's going to continue as we head into the weekend. A very happy Saturday to you. I'm FOX54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Summer pattern continues this weekend, and then as we head into the early and middle part of next week, we're going to be talking about the three components of a summertime weather pattern. We're going to be talking about the heat, we're going to be talking about the high humidity, and we're going to be talking about the rain. Yes, we are talking about the rain. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible on a daily basis, not just today, not just tomorrow, both days this weekend, and then even as we head into literally all of next week. But if you have lived here for any great period of time, and literally that is like more than one summer, maybe 2 or 3 summers, you know that this is like the status quo for the summer. It's hot, it's humid, and there's a daily chance of rain in the forecast. And depending on the summer we're having, we could be talking about the heat, the humidity, and the daily opportunities for rain clear through the month of September and even into the early days of October. And then some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. The biggest concern there would be the threat for a little bit of localized flash flooding across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures this afternoon going to climb into the lower 90s, depending on the amount of cloud cover you get, depending on the amount of sunshine you see. We could be a couple of degrees warmer or even a couple of degrees cooler. We saw that a lot this week, where the folks that saw a little more cloud cover and a little more rain climbed into the mid and upper 80s. The folks that saw more sunshine and less rain climbed into the low, and even in some cases, like we saw yesterday afternoon, the mid 90s. It's going to be warm this evening. Prepare yourself for that, with a couple of scattered showers being possible, of course. 88 at 6, 86 by 7, 83 by 8, 81 degrees, still in the lower 80s at 9 o'clock. But again, this is very status quo for this time of year. There's nothing mind-blowing. There's nothing breaking about this, right? We drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A little bit of cloud cover across the area. Some of us are going to be talking about a mostly clear sky tonight, early tomorrow morning, which means just like the last couple of mornings, we could be talking about some patchy dense fog. We do it again as we head into your Sunday. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 90s. The folks that see a little more cloud cover and a little more rain probably only going to climb into the 80s. The humidity is the problem this weekend. It's going to be the problem child, I guess you could say. We're going to find ourselves in the very humid category. Dew points anywhere between 70 and 75 degrees at times. We could find ourselves creeping into the oppressive category where we're talking about dew points greater than 75 degrees. And at that point, you're just talking about dew points that are rather disrespectful when you're talking about dew points 76, 77, or even 78 degrees. And we saw some of that on Friday afternoon. That means heat indices are going to begin to climb anywhere between 103 and 105 today and tomorrow. But then it looks like heat indices could climb a little bit higher as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. By the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday especially, we'd be talking about heat advisory criteria. Here's Futurecast as we head into the lunch hour. Scattered showers and thunderstorms certainly going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley, but some of us are going to be dry. Some of us get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. We're going to stick with this trend as we head into the afternoon. This activity sticks with us in some capacity as we head into the evening, but then just like the last several days, it typically wanes as we head into the overnight. And this is our trend. We get a lot of diurnally driven shower and thunderstorm activity through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening, and then it comes to an end as we head into the overnight and into the next day. You're heading out the door for Sunday services, Sunday breakfast. Odds are better than not. We're probably going to be just fine starting the day with plenty of sunshine. The cloud cover increases a little bit as we head into the afternoon, as does the opportunity for isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Do I sound like a broken record yet? I'm probably going to repeat myself every day. Through the later part of September, there's a lot of minimal change to the forecast when you get to this point in the year. And then, of course, we begin to dry out a little bit Sunday night and then early into Monday morning. Rain is, of course,